This video is for educational and entertainment use only. The views in this video do not necessarily represent the views or life of Marlon
Welcome
Dixon.
back to Duffle LO, the sit down, and we are back with the United States and China connection. But see, now we just seeing how it was connected. Now we gotta get to the disconnect. First, I gave you guys the history on China and what they've been doing and how they've been doing it with Evergrande and the sun and the moon and the banks and all this stuff. Then how they took their money from the stock market and they finna get ready and swing it to their own stock market. And then the U.S. big funds is investing into the Chinese, and then at the same time, Apple signed a secret $275 billion deal with the Chinese government. It's crazy. But this is what's really going on. That's why I'm showing it to y'all and I'm bringing it to y'all. So make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below. When you do subscribe, make sure you hit the bell. Every day, 1:30, I'm dropping videos. I'm telling y'all. So let me show my screen so I can just show y'all what we get into. This is officially disconnected now. Now we all just in China. What that say? What that say? What do that say? What that say? December 22nd, 2021, 2 weeks ago, Dorothy Newfield visualizing the $94 trillion world economy in one chart. This the whole world. We finna have the whole world chart. One chart. Look at this. The global GDP 2021. You see that? Oh man. Let me see if I can make this small. Let me see if I can make it smaller so we can see everything. Oh man, you know what? Let me see if I blow this up a little more. Would that help out? Nope, that ain't even help out. It's too big. But it's okay. Don't worry about it, y'all. Y'all clearly see what I'm seeing though, right? Y'all see what this say? United States, 22.94 trillion. That's the US GDP. Y'all see China, 16.86 trillion. So let's just say China is 17 and the US is 23. That's $5 trillion away. So that's China and that's the US. Everybody else, look at them. Canada, Germany, France, the UK, Saudi Arabia, Australia, Puerto Rico, India, Japan, Taiwan, Thailand, Indonesia, Hong Kong, South Korea. Like y'all see who the real big time people is. It's the U.S. and China. That's what this article is about. The battle between these two. The $94 trillion world economy in one chart. Now listen to this. Just 4 countries, the US, China, Japan, and Germany, make up over half of the world's economic output by gross domestic product in nominal terms. In fact, the GDP of the US alone is greater than the combined GDP of 170 countries. So now, if the US alone is greater than 170 countries, what you gonna think if China surpasses the US? China would be greater than 171 countries or more than 170 countries because they bigger than the US. So, the US is going to have to be in that 170. How do the different economies of the world compare? In this visualization, we look at the GDP by country in 2021 using data and estimates from the International Monetary Fund. Look into the IMF. And I ain't talking about, the IMF that y'all thinking. From the what's his name, Tom Cruise movies. GDP serves as a broad indicator of countries' economic output. It measures the total market value of final goods and services produced in a country in a specific time frame, such as a quarter or a year. In addition, GDP also takes into consideration the output of services provided by the government, such as money spent on defense, healthcare, or education. Notice defense is underlined, and you can highlight it, so you already know what that is. But the healthcare and education. Now, the government say that they spend a lot of money on the healthcare and education, when in reality, what is education and what is healthcare? So you know what defense is, but what is education and healthcare? Them terms are kind of like ambiguous in a way. Generally speaking, when GDP is increasing in a country, it is a sign of greater economic activity that benefits workers and businesses, while the reverse is true for a decline. So when your GDP is high, that means the economy is booming. The economy is booming. The world economy, top 50 countries. Who are the biggest contributors to the global economy? Here is the ranking of the 50 largest countries by GDP. Look, 24%. You see China right behind them. Japan, Germany, UK, India, France, Italy, Canada, Korea. What? It's at 22.9 trillion, the US GDP accounts for roughly 25% of the global economy, a share that has actually changed significantly over the last 60 years. The finance, insurance, and real estate, 4.7 trillion industries, add the most of the country's economy, followed by professional and business services, 2.7 trillion, and government, 2.6 trillion. China's economy is second in nominal terms, hovering at near 17 trillion in GDP. It remains the largest manufacturer worldwide based on output with extensive product of steel, electronics, and robotics, amongst others. Let's stop right here. Steel. Remember, I showed y'all in the other video that they end up investing into a steel company. That's why they putting up all them resorts. They got all the ghost cities and all that stuff. Why? Because they partnered with a steel company. So of course they're gonna get the best prices for the steel. But then electronics, you know, Apple is over there in China, so they create all those programs and the phones and the hours, all that stuff is over there. Robotics, because of the robotics and automation that's getting ready to come, and China is already ahead of this stuff. And this is what they are our largest manufacturer worldwide on these things. And this is what the new world is coming to. These two right here, this is the new world right here. The electronics and the robotics. And the robotics is kind of like the electronics. And the electronics is kind of like the robotics. This is a computer. This ain't no phone. This is a computer with a phone application on top of it. The FaceTime app, the phone app. These are apps. This is a computer, and those on there it's apps on there. You guys have to understand this stuff. The largest economy in Europe is Germany, which exports roughly 20% of the world's motor vehicles. What? Volkswagen? Okay. In 2019, overall trade equaled nearly 90% of the country's GDP. So you see how many cars they over there making? Everybody got their own niche of what it is that they making. Now look at this. The finance, insurance, and real estate, 4.7 trillion. You see that? 4.7 trillion. China got 17 trillion in what's coming up next, electronics and robotics. So this country make cars. That country making robots and electronics. We don't really export stuff like that. That's what's gonna make them surpass us, which you guys gonna get ready to see pretty soon. The smallest countries on the other end of the spectrum are the world's smallest economies by GDP, primarily developing and island nations. With a GDP of 70 million, Tuvalu is the smallest economy in the world, situated between Hawaii and Australia. The largest industry of this volcanic archipelago relies on territorial fishing rights. In addition, the country earns significant revenue from its .tv web domain. Between 2011 and 2019, it earned $5 million annually from companies including Amazon on Twitch to license the Twitch.tv domain name, equivalent to roughly 7% of the country's GDP. Just for one Twitch. You see this? All Oceania, Caribbean. And I'm gonna tell y'all guys like this. I'm gonna get the book. Hold on real quick. Let me stop sharing so I can show you guys this book real quick. You see this? You see that? The Grand Chessboard. This book. This book talks about Oceania, Europa, all that stuff. Y'all got to get hip to this. I'm telling y'all. The fastest growing economies in the world, 2021. Libya, Guyana, Macau, Maldives, Ireland, Aruba, Panama, Chile, Peru, Dominican. A lot of people going to Dominican Republic. They're getting them butt shots, y'all. Oil is propelling with 123% projected GDP growth. Libya's economy is estimated to have the sharpest rise. Oil is propelling this growth with 1.2 million barrels being pumped in the country daily. Along with this, exports and depressed currency are among the primary factors behind this recovery. See, look, this is why China is so ahead of everybody, because people are still worried about oil. China has created an artificial moon to light their skies that's going to save them on electricity. They also created an artificial sun, which they don't need no oil because they can get the solar panels. And with the solar panels, they're going to store the energy from the artificial sun that they created on top of the real natural sun they created. Well, not they didn't create the natural sun, but the natural sun, they're gonna store that energy, as well as the other sun that they create, they're gonna store that energy, and they can power all these cities in their country. So oil is getting ready to be going down. That's going to get ready to go down. Ireland's economy with a projected 13% real GDP growth is being supported by the largest multinational corporations in the world. Facebook, TikTok, Google, Apple, and Pfizer all have their European headquarters in the country, which has 12.5% corporate tax rate, or about half of the global average. But these rates are set to change soon as Ireland joined the OECD 15% minimum corporate tax rate agreement, which is finalized in October 2020. So they taxes going up a 2.5%, but I mean, that's a lot of money when it comes down to billions and trillions and stuff. That's a lot. Macau's economy bounced back after COVID-19 restrictions began to lift, but more storm clouds are on the horizon for the Chinese district. The CCP's anti-corruption campaign and recent arrests could signal a more strained relationship between mainland China and the world's largest gambling hub. So yeah, they must be over there gambling. China saying, hey, look, we ain't trying to mess up any of what we got going on, because China got a lot of stuff going on. The global GDP figure of 94 trillion may seem massive to us today, but such a total might seem much more modest in the future. This is key right here. This is key. If you don't learn nothing or you don't pay attention to nothing in this video, matter of fact, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the button when you hit the subscribe button and everything. Pay attention to this. The global GDP figure of 94 trillion may seem massive to us today, but such a total might seem much more modest in the future. Why? Because we're going to get ready and have some people that's going to be worth 5 trillion, 6 trillion, 7 trillion, all that type of stuff. So the GDP, global GDP, is going to go into the quadrillions, which means everything is finna skyrocket. So everybody better get on the rocket and know what ship to be on, because if you're on the wrong ship, you're gonna get left. In 1970, the world economy was only about 3 trillion in GDP in 1970. 80, 90, 2000, 2010, 2020. In 52 years, it went from 3 trillion to 94 trillion. That's $91 trillion added to the worldwide GDP. So what you think gonna happen when all this robotics and all this stuff and all this get to happen? This number, if you times 3 trillion by 10, you see that that's 30 trillion. 30 trillion is only 1/3 of this 94 trillion. So you need to times this by 10 and then times that by 3. So you know I gotta get my calculator. Y'all know I like get my trusted calculator. So let's do that. Just in case it go like this in the next 50 years. Let's say it go the same, exactly the same, even though it might go different. So we're gonna start with 0. We're gonna take 94, and we're gonna take the 94, and then we're gonna times that by 10. That equals 940 trillion. But as you can see, the 3 trillion times 10, only 3 trillion. So that's 1/3 of the 94. So that means we gotta take this number and times that by 3. That's 2.8 quadrillion, ladies and gentlemen. So we go into the quadrillions. Y'all better know that. So in 1970, the world's economy was only about 3 trillion GDP, or 30 times smaller than it is today. Over the next 30 years, the global economy is expected to more or less double again. By 2050, global GDP could total close to 180 trillion. I don't think it's going to be 180 trillion. I don't think it's going to be 180 trillion. I think it's going to be way more than 180 trillion, to be honest with you. Like the way that things going, it got to be way more than 180 trillion. Trust me, like, you got to watch their numbers. You got to watch their numbers. When you understand the number game, you understand numerology and all that, they be telling you the numbers, but the whole time it be something else. So I'm going to tell y'all like this. This is the global economy. China and the U.S. neck to neck, neck to neck. Who going to win? Who going to win? We don't know who going to win. I'm going to tell you who going to win on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. But for real, I hope you guys learned something in this video. All the BS aside, I hope you guys learned something in this video. Make sure you guys share the videos, like the videos, comment on the videos. Please like the video so we can beat the YouTube algorithm, get this video out and these type of videos out to more people. I want to grow my channel. Right now, I'm close to 200 subscribers. I want to get to 1,000 subscribers before May. Before May 31st, I want to get, is it May 31st? Yeah, it's May 31st. I think it's May 31st. It's okay. Before May 31st, I want to get to 1,000 subscribers. That's what I'm trying to get to. And I want to grow the channel exponentially from that with bringing this type of information and talking how I talk this talk, looking like how I look this look. And we're going to get there. But like I said, I'm going to show you guys who won the race in the next video. And I'm going to show you exactly how. So like, share, subscribe. Like I said, make sure you guys prosper through adversity. Don't underestimate family, friends, lovers, enemies. Look objectively. No matter what city, state, or country is in, every hood is the same. If nobody told you that they love you today, I'm going to tell you that right now because I love you. That's why I bring you guys this information, because I want you guys to understand, overstand, and understand what's going on in the world. And I want to give you the tools and the resources that you can look into to try to figure this thing out like I'm trying to figure it out, because this ship is sailing. So we going up. We at the top now. Now we at the top. It's about to get hot this next episode. So I'll see you guys on the next episode. That's all I gotta say. Duff.
This video is for educational and entertainment use only. The views in this video do not necessarily represent the views or life of Marlon Dixon.